entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Welcome to the party, pal!
All right, and welcome to another Dash at Night. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday evening, enjoying the fine weather that we're having. Tonight we're going to be talking about some book series. Now listen, I know there's tons and tons of book series out there, and I'm probably missed. I only listed like 10, maybe a little bit more than that. But just wanted to throw out some of my favorites. Maybe you guys can jump in on them, read them, enjoy them like I do. If I missed one of yours, let me know. Feel free to throw it in the comments if you have a series that you like to read. As you know, Amber and I, we do our monthly. Amber, Dana, and I now don't let me forget Dana. We do our monthly roundup coming this Sunday. We'll also have at the end of the month our book review, so check that out. We're going to be reading a book by Keanu Reeves, so check that one out as well. But I hope you guys enjoy some of the ones that I got up here tonight. We are streaming live from Facebook and from Instagram. We've got all the bugs and works out, so hopefully some of you guys are joining us from Instagram. So throw those comments out there, and please help support if you like. Throw the star, hit that star button on Facebook. Let us know how we're doing, and go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and go hit that subscribe button on YouTube, just like I can't even find it now. Go do this right here. Appreciate that at YouTube. We're starting our channel out. It's all about pulp culture, books, movies, entertainment, action figures, toys, you name it. It's all on our pulp culture channel, Dash Hooper. So without further ado, we're going to bring up some of our favorite book series. Again, at any time during the stream, just let me know what some of your favorites are. Hopefully, you'll let me know. Best book series. So one of my favorite right here, Harry Bosch, Michael Connelly, the Bosch series. Lincoln Lawyer's part of it as well. But Bosch, the Black Box, the Overlook, some great books. The Black Ice, Last Coyote, fantastic books. If you've probably seen Bosch, as I got him right there on Amazon, I think it was. Now I think it's Tubi or something. I can't remember what it moved to. Freevee. It moved to Freevee, I think. But some great series, and one of my favorite. The writing is gritty, and the mysteries and the murders that you have to solve. Michael Connelly does a great job with that. So go check it out. The Black Box is the first one. Fantastic book series. And we'll follow that up with Jack Reacher. Reacher is one of my favorite. Lee Child. As you know, we got two different Reachers. You got the Tom Cruise and then the Amazon version of Reacher. I like the Amazon version of Reacher because it's more gritty. It's true to the books for the most part, and Alan Ritson plays him well. But another great series. Reacher's a former Army MP, and he's out on the move, walking. Taking. He's just lives from town to town. He's always just showing up in different places, and obviously when he shows up, something's going down in those places, which is pretty cool. But I love this series. Jack Reacher is a great character. Again, I'm not going into too much detail. When I start doing more and more shorts with my book reviews, we'll put those up there. So be looking for that to come to YouTube soon as well. Next up, Bernard Cornwell's The Last Kingdom. You may have seen that on Netflix, but the Last Kingdom series is all about the creation of England. The Vikings, or the Danes, if you will, come over, and you got England's not even England yet. It's all the different. It's Cambridge, Mercia, and all the different breakdowns of England before it became Great Britain and became a solid country. Main character Uhtred of Bebbanburg. This is one of the best historical fiction series out there. Bernard Cornwell is a historian in his own right. He gets everything right. He changes a little bit up, but for the most part, for the fiction part, he changes it up. But he gets it right, and this is such a great such a great series. I am currently on the Lords of the North right now, but I've already read through it once before. This is like my fifth time reading through it. But again, you can go watch it on Netflix as well. But I would highly recommend reading this series. It's so fantastic. Up next, we got the North and South. You got North, South, Love and War, and Heaven and Hell. John Jakes back in the 80s. They did a mini series. Not too much. I don't really want you to focus too much on that. But let me get back. Hit the wrong button. Yeah, I love the North and South series. It's fantastic. John Jakes. I don't want to give too much away. Like I said, obviously follows two friends here that end up fighting on different sides. And it's a fantastic book series. I've read through this probably 6 or 7 times. But back in the 80s, as you can see, Patrick Swayze, and I think that's Bruce Boxleitner played in the North and South miniseries. But read the books, really good. Up next, we got the Dresden Files, Harry Dresden. If you like paranormal, magic, supernatural, things of that nature, Harry Dresden and the Dresden Files is totally one of the best fantasy series out there. It's definitely in my top 5 as fantasy. As you'll see, we're going to get closer into a lot of fantasy here in a little bit. But this was set in the modern day Chicago. So the real world stuff is going on, but you got, monsters, witches, angels, demons, you name it, devils, demons, everything. It's all in there. This is supernatural books before supernatural. Jim Butcher, fantastic author, one of the best writers as far as this type of series goes. Amber and I think Amber's read through it as well. I've read through it. And I'm going through it again. A lot of these series I have read through probably more than once. So all of them are good. Like I said, I'll probably do more breakdowns on each of these books when I get a chance. I'm still in school right now, so getting to do a lot of videos and things like that. Plus I'm homeschooling. Plus I got my other stuff going on. So we'll get to some real breakdowns and some reviews that we'll put up on the channel as well. But Dresden is really good. And sorry for the low, the low technology here. I need to, if there's any tech gurus out there that can show me how to build videos and things like that to make this presentation a lot better, I would gladly appreciate that. But right now we're low tech. I'm 51 years old, and I don't, technology is not my favorite, but we'll go on. This is one of the first, I should say second. This is kind of tied. Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew, involved in the young adult. I'm not a big fan of a whole lot of young adult series. There's some great young adult books out there, don't get me wrong. Percy Jackson, things like that. But I grew up on Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. I've read through a majority of these. I haven't read the entire series of this, and this is one of the two that I haven't read through the entire series yet. So, but that is a definite goal. So we'll but I just love it. It was on TV back in the day with Sean Cassidy. I can't even remember Parker Stevenson, and I can't remember who the young lady was that played Nancy Drew. But if they're on YouTube and things like that, if you're not into the books, you can definitely go check out the TV show. It's pretty good. Saturday Night Mysteries, I think, and after school specials. But you can't go wrong with Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, some of the very first young adult fiction that I ever read. Up next for the young adult, these are the only two young adult that I have listed for tonight. Harry Potter, obviously one of the best young adult that goes into more adult, I will say. Usually right around by Prisoner of well, I should say probably more around Goblet of Fire. Maybe even Prisoner of Azkaban. It gets really into adult themes. So it starts off young, but as they get old, I think you move into more adult themes. Still, J.K. Rowling's, it's a fantastic series. Maybe someday we'll get to revisit it. I know there's, I think it's coming to Max. There's a new Harry Potter TV series. I know they're casting for it, but that's coming to Max. We'll see how that goes. A lot of series get announced, and sometimes they do good, sometimes they do bad, sometimes they don't even get. They'll announce it and they never get made. As of Game of Thrones and House of Dragon, those are doing well. I can't say the same right now for the Rings of Power. To me, they've just they missed the mark in the second season. The first season of Rings of Power was fine. I'm probably in the minority that thinks that. But the second season of Rings of Power definitely down. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. Finally, one of the best ones, Craig Johnson, Longmire, out in Wyoming, Sheriff Longmire. I believe that's on Netflix as well. His writing style is fantastic. If you like Western mixed with mystery, this is the series for you. It's more modern Western, obviously taking place in the here and now instead of back in the Old West. But Walt Longmire is one of the greatest characters to ever grace the books. Each mystery is fantastic, and Walt is just a phenomenal character. Very well written and depth. When you think about some of the mystery books that you get out there, there's a lot of characters that don't have a lot of depth at times because they just want to get it's more of a plot driven and not so much character driven. I think, to me personally, Walt is very, or the Longmire series is very character driven, and I absolutely love it. Obviously, Game of Thrones. This is my top. If I have top two, it's hard to break down the top two, but this would probably be 1A, and then I'll have, or 1B, and I'll have 1A here in just a minute. Game of Thrones, again, I could also throw in the Fire and Blood book with this. We're still waiting on the Winds of Winter. Hell, I don't know when he'll ever finish it. If he does, it'll be a miracle if Martin ever finishes Winds of Winter. But right now there's 6 books in the series. Actually there's 5 books in the series. Storm and Swords is broken down into 2 here. The sixth one will be Winds of Winter. But yeah, fantastic. Great characters, all from point of view characters. That's what I love about this series. You get everybody's point of view. There's with this one, as you obviously saw, if you ever watched Game of Thrones on HBO and Max, each part of the chapters is told from a different character's point of view. So what we see as good and evil, these characters see totally different. They might see themselves as the good guys, and they might see the Starks as the bad guys. But one thing I will say about this book series, if you've ever read it, this is, and you may be upset with how it ended on HBO, but this is Bran's story. I know we all root for Jon, and we root for other characters, Daenerys. But this is Bran's story. Literally, the first chapter of Game of Thrones opens up with Bran, so that's why to me it's Bran Stark's story. But whatever you feel, the books are fantastic. Read them. If you've only been a fan of the TV show, I highly suggest you read these. Lots of differences. Lots of differences. They changed a lot for the TV show. And finally, 1A or number one, if you will, J.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, The Silmarillion, The Fall of Gondor. What else? What else should I put in there? So many fantastic books. Or The Fall of Numenor, The Rise of Gondor. So many books in there that the entire Lord of the Rings. I know we call it a trilogy, but you have The Hobbit. The Silmarillion is kind of we were just talking about the Rings of Power. I think they're taken from the appendices of the Lord of the Rings trilogy books. I think they're taken from the appendices, if you will, the appendix, as well as some from the Silmarillion. I think they've got Tom Bombadil in there now, which Tom Bombadil was very prominent in the Fellowship of the Ring. And that's one of the reasons why I'm upset with season 2 of the Rings of Power, because they've really destroyed Tom Bombadil's character. I am not pleased with that. Some of you might like it. I'm not out here to turn you away from watching it. I just feel personally they destroyed the Tom Bombadil character in that. But I love the animated version of The Hobbit more than I do the 3 movies. But Ian McKellen is Gandalf all the way. Yes, he's Magneto. Yes, he's all these other characters. But Ian McKellen is exactly when you're reading, and if you've never seen it, I guarantee you would still think of Ian McKellen. He nails Gandalf. And so that's one of my favorites. It's one of my all-time favorites. I read this at least once a year. All the books in the series I read at least once a year. Finally, you got the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. You can see that one. You've got the Wheel of Time. Thank you, Uncle Lloyd. Appreciate you for the thumbs up. Hit that star button on there. Give me a star. We got the Wheel of Time. Again, the Wheel of Time is on Amazon as well. They do all right. The second season was a little off for me, but so far I'm not overly disappointed. Again, I probably fall way into the minority with liking the Wheel of Time. There's a lot of people that dislike it, but I think they've done a relatively good job with it on TV. But the book series, Robert Jordan and then Brandon Sanderson took over the last part of the Wheel of Time after Jordan passed on. We have the Witcher series. You can see that over here as well. Man, starts off with short stories, and then you get into the long version of Geralt, Yennefer, and them. Love this book series. I have read this one probably 4 times now, and it never gets old. Henry Cavill did a great job, but the book series, in my opinion, Henry was trying to play towards that in the show. Showrunners wanted something different. as we know, Hollywood likes to change things like that. But absolutely love the Witcher series. Up next, we have some other ones. Dragonlance: The Chronicles, another great. If you're a Dungeons and Dragons player or you love high fantasy, Dragonlance Chronicles, Dragons of Autumn Twilight, Dragons of Winter Night, Dragons of Spring Dawning, just fantastic books. There's more in the entire Dragonlance. There's probably hundreds of books in the entire Dragonlance, but the first 3 Chronicles, probably the best Dungeons and Dragons books, hands down. You got CJ Box in the Joe Pickett series. Another great. He's not so much a detective; he's a game warden, if you will, but solving mysteries. But CJ Box does a great job writing Joe Pickett. Another very in-depth character, and he's more flawed than anybody I've ever seen, but he's still a fantastic character. And then overall, probably the greatest detective of our time. No, it's not Sherlock Holmes. It's Hercule Poirot by Agatha Christie. Probably hands down one of the best. She's got Miss Marple, but with Hercule, Murder on the Nile, Murder on the Orient Express. Those are some of his famous cases. I know you've heard of those, but Hercule Poirot, fantastic book series. I just read the 12 Labors of Hercules, based off of obviously 12 Labors of Hercules. 12 short stories, and they all coincide with the title of the labor that Hercules did. Fantastic book. If you like mystery, you like British mystery, Agatha Christie, Hercule Poirot, fantastic book series. But that's all I got. I know, like I said, I know there's tons and tons and tons of great book series out there. I probably missed a lot. Let me know in the comments of what some of your favorites are. I'd like to hear. There may be some I have never read, and I'd like to add to my reading list. You guys know I'm an avid reader, but appreciate you. Appreciate my Uncle Lloyd coming out, saying hello. But give us some love. Give us some thumbs up. Give us some likes. The more thumbs up you give, the more people will see the video. I'd appreciate that. But appreciate you coming out on a Wednesday night. Tomorrow night we'll be back with Dash at Night with Movie Night. We're going to be talking about movie crossovers that we'd like to see. So if anybody wants to join in on that, let me know. Other than that, we will see you tomorrow night. I hope you guys have a great night. And remember to do this right here for me on YouTube. So appreciate you again for coming out. And always remember.
And knowing is half the battle.
Guys, have a wonderful night. We'll see you.